Hi, I'm Sean Waterman and you're watching FedScoop TV. Today we're at the Security Through Innovation Summit in Virginia, and I'm joined now by Arlette Hart, who is the CISO for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Arlette, thanks for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So there have been a bunch of government policy initiatives in the cybersecurity area over the last year or so. The Sprint, the National Action Plan, the information sharing legislation. How has that impacted innovation in the cybersecurity space for you as a practitioner?
I think the biggest impact that the legislation and the policy and all the attention around cybersecurity has had in general is that it has raised the profile of cybersecurity. Before this, well, especially back in the early days of cybersecurity, we as cybersecurity practitioners would go to the enterprise and say, please let us get on your system. Please let us make sure that it's secure. And I mean, they had to because the FISMA was passed, and so there was a certain amount of that. But with the attention and with all the breaches that have happened over the last few years, people realize this really is a thing that is major and significant and has to be attended to. So all the policies, all the legislation and things, and the pieces that are coming from government are saying, look, we as government, we as a society have to pay attention to cybersecurity. That helps me because there's innovation driving through this particular event, through other events that are trying really hard to get to the place where, one, we don't have to deal with a lot of the commodity problems. Antivirus, all the viruses and things like that. And people are working very, very hard to really address and push the level of commodity problems down. So then we can start really focusing on hard problems instead of soft problems. I don't have enough people, nobody has enough people to address every silly problem that comes out in cybersecurity by every, random person in whatever location. But when it gets to a hard problem, then I really want my smart people, and we have smart people dealing with these things. I want them to be able to pay attention to that and not get distracted by the noise level. So it's really helped the legislation, the policies, all of these pieces that say this is a significant issue have really helped drive the innovation across industry so we can focus on hard problems instead of the soft problems.
Gotcha. And now, so you as a practitioner, as the person in charge of cybersecurity at the FBI, you've got the spotlight now, the attention, the high-level attention, and the resources, hopefully, that you need. So what are the challenges that, or do you have the resources that remain? What are the challenges? Is resources a challenge? What are the big, what are the things that you wake up every morning thinking, this is what I've got to get through today?
My perspective is that we are fundamentally enabling mission. That's the biggest piece that we have to do. We can't sit there and say we are just protecting. And there are trade-offs between what you really have to do as far as a protection thing and protection capability and how you drive and enable the mission positively. And making sure that we make those trade-offs smartly and make them with the right understanding of what needs to occur is primarily our job from the security perspective. There are things we have to do from security. You just have got to have, the baseline established, making sure that the funding is in place, the personnel are in place, balancing all the programmatics is always a challenge, and it'll always be a challenge. But really balancing against the operational imperatives is where security must focus. We can't be a zero-sum game. We have to say us and this. How do we really enable what needs to happen and leverage as much information across the board that other organizations have done? FedRAMP is a great help on these kind of efforts. Some of the work that other agencies, and DoD and other federal government agencies have done looking at products and capabilities. And so there's too much to do for any one person, for any one organization. They just can't absorb all of this. We have to leverage as many smart people as we can, and as much information as we can to really drive down this road.
Of the many policy changes that there has been over the past couple of years on the cybersecurity, is there one that really stands out for you?
I don't think so. I think I have actually been very happy to see the policy changes over the past few years, because every time a policy changes, it actually increases the visibility of the cybersecurity issue. And as those of us who've been in this business for a long time and have been in the trenches and saying, okay, come on, we really have to, this is a real problem. We really have to address this problem. It's not a trivial problem, it's major. And as the cybersecurity policy has been implemented at different levels across government, it really has raised the visibility of cybersecurity as a discipline and as an imperative for government. So, you know, you started with the insider threat one a couple of years ago with the Snowden issue, and that raised a lot of pieces that needed to be addressed very badly. And it raised the bar across government, not just on the classified side or the unclassified side, but said, okay, all of government has to do some of these things. And when you do the CNAP and the CSIP, and they say, okay, no, all of government has to do these things. And so everybody has to pay attention. Now, there's an implication to that, and especially for agencies that have very, very tight budgets. They have to balance mission against security, and that balance is a hard balance to achieve. But the mandate is there to do that, and the risk is significant if you don't. And that's the piece that I think is most important. It's like there is a risk of not securing this properly. So the policies themselves have raised the visibility of this issue, and that I think is really important and very, very valuable.
Well, thanks very much, Arlette. Appreciate you dropping by.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm Sean Waterman, and that was FedScoop TV.